institution affiliated with the West African Health Organization, the college embodies the spirit of regional cooperation that our ECOWAS community must continue to strengthen. Over the decades, WACS has trained and produced a significant proportion of the surgeons serving across our countries. For this enduring contribution, I convey the appreciation of governments and people across our entire sub-region. It is fitting to acknowledge the pioneers whose vision laid the foundation of this great institution, including Dr. Victor Anoma Ngu and Sir Samuel Manua. Their foresight continues to benefit generations of specialists and countless patients they serve. As a host nation, Ghana is proud of the contributions made by Ghanaian surgeons and teachers to the college's growth and specialist training across West Africa. We recall with profound respect the late Professors Emmanuel Augustus Bedu, Emmanuel Kwe Achampong, Edward Kofi Donko Yeboah, George Rekubrobe, and John Kwateboy Mamon Kwati, among many other eminent West African pioneers whose scholarship and mentorship strengthened surgical training and service across our sub-region. Today, I recall with solemn respect Professor John Kwateboy Mamon Kwate, who together with his two younger colleagues, Dr. Isaac Bensi and Dr. Benjamin Osai-Wiafi, tragically lost their lives while returning from a surgical outreach program in Sunyani. Their sacrifice remains a powerful reminder of our collective duty to build systems in which access to specialized care is not determined by geography and where quality of service are available to every community. The theme of this conference, capacity building in surgery, is both timely and compelling. Capacity building must be understood comprehensively. It is not only about producing more surgeons, it's equally about strengthening the teams and the systems that support safe surgery, including anesthesia, nursing, diagnostics, blood services, sterile supply chains, critical care, and reliable referral pathways.
Presented to you this day as our grand patron.
Meanwhile, President Mahama says universal access to quality health care remains a core pillar of Ghana's development agenda, emphasizing that no citizen should be denied life-saving medical care because of location or financial status. It was also at the 66th Annual Conference of the West African College of Surgeons in Accra. We'll bring you details of that story later. The Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwakye Fosu, has assured Ghanaians that anyone found guilty in the alleged illegal mining taxation scheme exposed by a Joy News Hotline documentary will face the full force of the law. Speaking on the matter, Mr. Kwakye Fosu said government will not protect wrongdoers, emphasizing that accountability applies regardless of status or political affiliation.
The remarks follow revelations that illegal mining-related taxes were being authorized and collected in the Amansi Central District of the Ashanti region, citing the ongoing prosecution of Bernard Entry-Bosiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. He stressed that justice will take its course once wrongdoing is established. Meanwhile, Suleiman Ibrahima, Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, has called for the immediate removal of the district chief executive for Amansi Central in light of the documentary's findings.
The Ashanti Regional Caucus of the Minority in Parliament has called on government over the decision to reduce the 4-tier Suame interchange project to a 2-tier. The project, approved by Parliament in July 2022, was to address severe traffic congestion in Suame, Krofrom, Bantama, Magazine, and other areas in the Greater Kumasi area. Addressing journalists in Parliament on Monday, the former Minister for Roads and Highways, Francis Asenso-Boakye, condemned the decision, insisting that a 2-tier interchange will not address the challenge.
Reducing the Suame interchange from a 4-tier to 2-tier design fundamentally undermines the integrity of the project. A two-tier solution will not eliminate traffic conflict points in Kumasi. It will not accommodate projected traffic growth. It will simply shift congestion from one junction to another and to risk turning the Swami Interchange project into an expensive but ineffective bottleneck. More importantly, any attempt to construct only some levels instead of the full four-tier design will require a revision of a completed design engineering designs, leading to unnecessary delays, cost overruns, technical compromises, and contractual complications. In urban transport engineering, under-designing is often worse than doing nothing at all. The Ashanti Caucus of Parliament therefore calls on government to restore the original four-tier design of the Swami Interchange project, reprioritize funding to complete the project as designed and planned, and engage transparently with Parliament and the people of Kumasi and Ashanti region in general on the way forward. Kumasi deserves infrastructure that reflects its national importance, not half solutions justified by selective constraints.
Meanwhile, at a media briefing in Accra, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Gavin-Sagboja, dismissed claims by the Ashanti Regional Minority Caucus that the Swami Interchange project has been downgraded from a four-tier to a two-tier design. Mr. Agboja explained that the original design has instead been reviewed to a three-tier interchange following the commencement of the Kumasi Outer Ring Road project under the government's Big Push agenda.
At the time of the design, it offered the only credible connection from the Ashanti region to the northern part of the country, as it is on the N10 and the start point of IR4 Mampong Road, the two main access to the northern region. It is also important to note that at the time of conception of this project, our options to the northern part of the country were limited, and the need to bring all connecting traffic to the intersection, therefore, before changing direction. It is also worth noting that presently, His Excellency the President has authorized the construction of the Kumasi Outer Ring Road, and works have started under the Big Push program. The Kumasi Outer Ring Road commences at Atia Junction near Buankra and traverses the following towns: Joabin, Kasam, Tano Odumasi, Ahonjo, and finally ends at Akom on the N10. This new construction offers an even more appropriate connection from the N10 to Akom to N6 to Buankra, and shortens the travel time for vehicles traveling from northern part of the country to the southern part of the country, vice versa. I disagree that reducing the scope from a four-tier to what is being proposed, which is a three-tier, actually not a two-tier, will fail, as this is not being done in isolation. In fact, the only portion of the original design being eliminated is the fourth-tier bridge, as the expropriation impact does not make it worthwhile, especially when the Outer Ring Road is being constructed.
27-year-old Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, arrested for alleged cyber fraud, has filed a 10 million cedi lawsuit against the Ghanaian government and the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, claiming torture, unlawful detention, and violations of his human rights.
In a motion filed at the Human Rights Division of the Accra High Court in Accra, Mr. Kumi alleges that following his arrest on December 11, 2025, he was physically abused, staffed and interrogated by foreign agents without access to his lawyer. He also claims that officers from NACOC and Yoko conducted unauthorized raids on his residence, seizing luxury cars, electronics and valuables, some belonging to friends without proper documentation. Mr. Kumi is seeking orders to exclude evidence obtained during the alleged coercive interrogations and unauthorized searches, prevent extradition, and restrain the FBI from operating within Ghana in his case. The lawsuit names the Interior Minister, NACOC, Yoko, the Attorney General, and the FBI as respondents. The case, expected to be heard in February 2026, could set a landmark precedent on foreign law enforcement operations in Ghana and citizens' rights during cybercrime investigations.
The High Court has officially begun a double shift system with the court running morning and afternoon streams each day. The initiative, directed by the Chief Justice, also includes a specialized court division of the High Court, which will be hearing cases on corruption and environmental degradation. The latest directive will facilitate an effective hearing of cases.
The Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni announced the new court system on February 4, 2026, when he paid a working visit to the Ghana Prison Service. The move is part of broader measures to decongest Ghana's court and prisons. The new shift system was already underway on Monday morning, where some court users in an interview GBC News welcomed the initiative, saying it will speed up trials.
Justice delayed is justice denied, they say. And to some extent, this is very true. If a matter is brought to court and it's taking so many years before it is dealt with, it is not the best. It visits cost on the parties as well as the other actors in the whole justice adjudicatory or justice delivery system.
It's long overdue. And what that tells me is that the Chief Justice is very serious and wanted to ensure that the delivery of justice is swift, and so I applaud him for what he has done.
The current shift system was introduced by the former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokodu, but was not implemented due to some constraints.
The manpower is there, the administrative support is there, so why won't it be sustainable? If it doesn't, then it's down to us who doesn't want the justice system to work.
The directive is currently being implemented at the High Court and will be replicated at the Circuit Court over time. Some court staff GBC News spoke to said they had received training on the latest development and are ready to work with the new schedule. Per the new directive, the first shift begins at 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., whilst the afternoon shift starts from 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday. The special courts are designated for cases on cybercrimes, corruption cases from the Office of the Auditor General, cross-border crimes, mining-related offences, as well as cases from the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
The chairman of the Ayawaso Council of Zango Chiefs, Louis Seidu, together with his vice, Tanko Ibrahim, called on residents of Ayawaso East to remain calm and unite behind the newly elected member of parliament who will stand for the by-elections, Baba Jamal. The chiefs called for unity and urged party supporters and residents to place peace and development above partisan differences. They told the media that the call for peace is to prevent tension and possible disturbances within the constituency where varied concerns are being expressed. The chiefs' news conference held at the Zambama Chiefs Palace at Nima follows the conclusion of the Ayawaso East Parliamentary Primary held by the NDC on Saturday.
Now that Baba Jamal has become more serious, we are going to work out so that we all work together with one common goal. What is the goal for? It's how to unite the people of Nima, how to clean up Nima, how to see that our streets are very tidy, how to see that our gutters are very tidy, and so forth and so on. Our youth, they need to become soldiers. They need to become policemen, fire service officers. and other important jobs. Fellow countrymen, we the Nima people are united. We will not let anyone divide us. We are strongly behind our MP, and we shall continue to be behind him. Any MP that will be for Nima is for us, and therefore we are always behind any MP that will lead us.
Nima has already decided. We have decided. Until has gone round and listening, extending new messages. Everybody, to all delegates. That is enough. We know Nigeria. I think she's not one. We also don't go there. Since the zone has been declared on the name of Baba Jama, please let us advise the government, or whoever it is, that they should please leave it the way it is.
Cocoa farmers are demanding answers over persistent payment delays that have left many struggling to make ends meet as concerns grow over the sustainability of Ghana's cocoa sector. The Licensed Cocoa Buyers Association of Ghana has warned of a looming collapse in the industry, citing acute funding and liquidity constraints. However, Chief Executive Officer of the Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abbey, says efforts are underway in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance to clear arrears owed to the farmers. Here are some reactions from some cocoa farmers to the ongoing situation.
Mass prayer near Yano, ye nyabium, and no cotoa drew a cobo ukoqua. Bako 150, 200, and Nesicana ye near the actor a drono, ye nya. Ami a cocoa is saying a cateno, a sayano almost a cocono. See a besra a bang, say one kai say, Yansu ye nipa. Ye cocoa into the Yati cocoa board, our Ghana. Ah, ya fed my 4 umguma ye to Amka. Me vivo muka cram ye no. Driver ni o cocoa board, security o cocoa board. Nisika wajeno, okuani babi, ehu bikrada. Nanso yen cocoa kuafona yedo cocoa, bepemu ne 15 November. Abusome miensa ni achireni. Ye cocoa ya dia ko nyina, yentu ayeka.
Efia aka ye nim, efia mlenu, ene abusome enkro no. Aso awie, ene ti yeso akuafo ye nim de ye, me batifie onko school. Me nua batifie onko school.
Otiwe mato cocoa 250 bucks. I mean, yes, scam out. Sorry, farmers need to me was my age for 20 years. Me witness it way before. So ya took cocoa na abayin tuaka. I am one. A man for tata me mean that. Honorable Mrs. Me to do pacho. Farmer same way parliament, Nako Kamami. Now buying and release scamami company. No one so first can mamma mean to me farmers.
Well, we are more. Now, yes, it can walk Shiaka Clamaya. What? Yeah, me met to me. Me to me no. Who could tap any or so or call and to a meadow. And no Hamaba on the 120. Mimi will be not quiet. It's a this idea and you did too.
You're still watching News Hour live on your trusted news channel GBC News. We're also live on GTV and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. For over 50 years, Ghana's busiest airport has borne the name of a soldier etched on the boarding passes and national memory. Now, a legislative proposal has sparked a national conversation probing the complexities of history, identity, and how a nation remembers its past.
Before Accra's airport became busy with global travelers, it was a wartime stronghold built by the British to fuel their military ambitions. This was a place of strategy, not hospitality, a Royal Air Force base moving troops and gear, not passengers, commerce or culture. After independence, the airport's purpose shifted. In 1958, President Kwame Nkrumah transformed the military base into a civilian hub, embodying his vision of a connected, confident Ghana. It became Accra International Airport, a symbol of independence, ambition, and global engagement. For more than a decade, that was its name. Then came 1966. A coup d'etat overthrew Kwame Nkrumah's government, reshaping Ghana's political path. Almost a year after the February 1966 coup that deposed Kwame Nkrumah, and the subsequent formation of the National Liberation Government, there was a counter-coup codenamed Operation Guitar Boy. It was an attempt to topple the NLC regime. Lieutenant General E.K. Kotoka led a government-side response to the attack, and they were able to abort the coup. However, in the process, Kotoka and some other officers lost their lives. It was after this incident that the airport was named after Kotoka, who had died at the airport during the clash. The renaming was to honor a hero who had died for his nation. 3 years later, in 1969, the airport was renamed Kotoka International Airport in honor of General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka, one of the leading figures behind the coup. That decision, taken in a different political moment, has endured for nearly 6 decades. Today, it is being questioned. Opponents see the renaming as unnecessary and pricey. Others wonder why the airport shouldn't honor Kwame Nkrumah, the president who transformed it into an international hub in 1958. But the debate has taken a divisive turn, with some framing it as an Ewe versus Ga issue, muddying the waters. But Ghana's aviation landscape tells a different story. Its airports are named after cities. Tamale, Kumasi, Ho, Accra is the exception. Globally, it's the same. Addis Ababa, ADD, Cairo, CIA, London Heathrow, LRH. Even with Kotoka's name, Accra's code remained ACC, a hint that the name change might just make sense. As Parliament debates the bill, the question isn't just the airport's name, it's the story Ghana tells when the world arrives. An airport is more than transit. It's a country's first impression, its final goodbye, and a mirror reflecting its identity. What story will Ghana tell?
As part of efforts to strengthen ties with the media, A1 Food Company hosted breakfast for workers at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, celebrating the media for its unwavering commitment to informing the public and promoting national development.
Supreme State Limited, producers of A1 bread, hosted a breakfast for journalists at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, recognizing the vital role of journalists and media practitioners. The event aimed to strengthen the relationship between the food industry and the media, with both sides reaffirming their commitment to accurate public information and food safety. Each worker received a breakfast pack. The head of sales for A1 bread, Mr. Isaac Dati, underscored the importance of the media in shaping public discourse and commended GBC for its continued efforts in informing the public with news, entertainment, and educational content. He also encouraged all Ghanaians to pay their TV license promptly.
The whole of A1 staff, we are going to do the due diligence, pay our TV licenses as soon as possible. And also to my colleagues and my brothers out there and sisters who have not paid, they should try as much as possible to make the payment so that we can all make GBC the better station as we all want.
A staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and a host on GBC Breakfast, Ms. Valerie Danto, expressed gratitude on behalf of the national broadcaster.
Thank you so much. And in our package, their famous Chibom, A1 Chibom, is here. And then there's also their chocolate drinks from Niche as well. So this is how our breakfast is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I'm going to be eating the Chibom.
The breakfast event concluded with an exchange of goodwill messages and a commitment to foster future collaboration between the media and corporate bodies.
News will continue shortly. Please stay with us.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN. MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GES, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShay is available nationwide. Contact us on 0244892413. This advert is approved by...
Yeah, welcome back. Let's now do some business news. Spare parts dealers at Abosokai in Accra are calling on the government to urgently review the newly implemented value-added tax regime under the VAT 2025 Act. The association said the current 20% VAT rate is hurting pricing, competitiveness and compliance within the spare parts sector. Under the previous tax arrangement, spare parts attracted a VAT rate of 4%, which allowed dealers to keep prices relatively stable. The dealers also raised concerns about what they described as unequal treatment under the new regime.
The Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association says the new VAT law is squeezing their business. Previously, spare parts attracted a 40% VAT rate, keeping prices affordable. Now, businesses turning over 750,000 plus cedis must charge 20% VAT, making prices jump. The association's head of communications, Techiado, says this is killing their businesses. Local dealers can't claim input VAT, so they are forced to hike prices, while non-registered competitors undercut them.
We have a lot of Ghanaian business people, traders, they are not in the books of GRA. So assuming shop A is the books of GRA and shop B is not in the books of GRA, then shop A, GRA are asking the shop A to add 20% to the cost of its price. What about the shop B? So as a businessman, what I will do is I have nothing to do with GRA. So I'll make sure I reduce my goods because I don't pay anything to the GRA. I'm not in the books of GRA. So the shop B is going to be what? Enjoy the monopoly every day.
The association acknowledges the government's tax-based expansion efforts, but proposes alternatives. Slash VAT on spare parts to 5 to 8% or reduce a flat 3% rate for the sector. Mr. Techiado praises the president's cedi stabilization efforts, but warns that the new VAT regime might undo gains, saying some system actions may be counterproductive.
We can't pay. So if the president is not aware, then we are drawing his attention. That's the reason why we issue this statement. We are giving them 1 week, GRA. If GRA refuses to comply, because they've already told us they are just implementers, civil servants. So if we have any issue, we need to channel to the lawmakers. So after 1 week, we don't hear anything from them. We'll close down shops for 3 days. If we don't hear anything from them, then we have no option than we march on the street to Parliament House.
At Abosokai, spare parts dealers voiced concerns to GBC News, calling the new VAT regime unfair and fearing it will hike prices for customers.
If there is a change, some period, grace period, nanka yetumi negotiate and answer yenye but all of what you do, Johanna, GRA say this is what the government saying say say you increase it to 20%. Nti so far no omo dia bande nya dia ye betumi.
Aban hospital say any man who says papers boy den nti ente so. Na ente so declare 20 no. Nti was say born finance be so be cost. Then na so dwen ho twice asa no waye. Nti bat no de 20% emwa na na da no that's all.
VAT no de wo de ba eye na mo me ma adwen ketua ne say se om register obia woton ade. Na obo ye ba na ye beton na o ka se wo san charge VAT ya. Ebe ma ne ma no boye dey akosoro. Because wo ma ekra ne ma de ba no ma di kan e de VAT atoso ayakoto.
The association is open to talks with governments and GRA to find a fair fix, but warns that no review of the VAT regime means a 1-week strike.
The government has been advised to not just accept refugees, but also put modalities in place to tap into their employable skills and their craftsmanship when they are in the country. According to the Amahoro Coalition, displaced people do not leave their skills behind when they flee, and therefore urge the Ghana Refugee Board to expand its holding center for processing the documents of displaced people who have entered the country.
A report by the Amahoro Coalition indicates that several policies by governments across the continent have served as barriers affecting refugees' access to formal employment across 15 African countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Cameroon, Ethiopia, and South Africa. In Ghana, documentation requirements such as work permit approvals discouraged employers from hiring displaced persons. Providing an overview of the report, Madam Mercy Frimpong, the strategy custodian of communications, disclosed that the Amahoro Coalition, in collaboration with the Ghana Refugee Board, the National Identification Authority, and UNHCR, had supported the registration of about 800 displaced persons for Ghana cards within the last year to enable them to integrate into various employable avenues in the country.
There can be no demographic dividend if 44 million of young people are systematically excluded from labor market. This series was developed to challenge the separation between displacement as a humanitarian issue and employment as an economic issue. Since 2019, Amahoro Coalition has been working hard to just find economic integration for people who have experienced displacement, because what we know is that people just give aid and then people queue, they are put in refugee camps. So you are a lawyer, you are an engineer, war comes, you close from work and you have to run for your life. And then you run to another country, and when you get there, because you do not have documentation, the only thing you can do is that you queue for food. So
the West African private sector lead of Amahoro Coalition is Mr. Fred M. Degby.
And we are charging the private sector of Africa to not only look at people who have undergone this as refugees, but rather as opportunities, rather as potential partners, rather as supply chain managers. Because if we have over 40 million refugees or displaced people across Africa, that's a market that is untapped, that can help push private sector into greater heights than they have imagined.
Some displaced persons who shared their experiences at the forum said delays in accessing documentation, especially the Ghana card, remained a major obstacle to employment and self-reliance. They appealed for simplified and faster processes to enable them contribute meaningfully to Ghana's economy.
The Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, has paid a working visit to Kasapreko and Guinness Ghana to engage management and assess challenges confronting the beverage manufacturing industry.
Kasapreko has operated for 36 years, producing alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, and is currently preparing to open a new production facility at Adeso in the Eastern region. At Kasapreko, Minister Ofosu-Adjare and her entourage were taken through the company's profile and operations. The managing director of Kasapreko, Mr. Richard Ejay, commended the government for reforms that had stabilized the economy, noting that borrowing costs, duties, and some taxes had reduced. He also praised the ministry for extending the repatriation period for export proceeds from 60 days to 120 days, saying it had improved liquidity for exporters. Concerns were raised about the importation of similar goods, describing it as a threat to local production, and called for stronger protection against smuggling and unfair competition. In response, the sector minister said Ghana's macroeconomic indicators had improved significantly, particularly the stability and appreciation of the cedi, which had eased exchange rate volatility and restored confidence in the business environment.
We're also here to know what we can help to make them upskill in our bid to promote export, in our bid to promote made in Ghana, in our bid to ensure that Ghanaian industries are also thriving.
Next was Guinness Ghana, where the managing director, Mr. Frederick Farrell, described the visit as an important opportunity to deepen collaboration between the government and the company, stressing the need for a partnership-based relationship. Madam Elizabeth Ofosu-Jari said government was implementing targeted interventions to boost exports and encouraged companies to expand production and take advantage of national initiatives.
As a ministry responsible for industry, so we'll continue to visit industry, inspire them, solve their problems to make sure that they are able to take advantage of the accelerated export development program as well as the 24-hour economy program.
Both companies were assured of addressing relevant agencies to tackle the water supply challenges affecting them and other factories within the Spintex enclave.
Natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GES, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShea is available nationwide. Contact us on 0244892413. This advert is approved by FDA.
Let's now do some energy news. African countries have been urged to pursue a balanced homegrown energy policies which are aligned with their resources, development priorities and energy security needs to achieve true energy sovereignty instead of adopting foreign energy transition models. The call was made at a public lecture on energy sovereignty organized by the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies in Accra.
Energy sovereignty is more than embracing renewables. It is a status where a nation is able to have control over its energy resources, domestic production and processing, independent policy choices, and alignment with development objectives. Experts say Africa faces growing challenge of asserting energy sovereignty as the global energy transition accelerates. At a public lecture in Accra, energy analysts warned that although the global push toward low-carbon energy is reshaping government policies and corporate investments, African countries risk worsening energy poverty and missing economic opportunities unless they take ownership of their resources, promote local value addition, expand access and affordability, and adopt balanced energy mix appropriate to local realities. Speaking at the lecture, Chief Executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, Dr. Riverson Opon, said cross-border power trade and regional collaboration are vital to Africa's energy future, but high taxes and transportation costs continue to hinder business across the continent.
The role of EVs today is very important because Africa has the chance of manufacturing the rich minerals that are used for the battery manufacturing. And one of the things that will really pay me as an African is to see that these raw materials are just being mined and exported in its raw state into the countries that are needed and not producing or providing what it needs to be used for here in Africa.
A panelist at the lecture, Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Benjamin Boache, shared valuable insights on energy sovereignty.
Rather than just thinking about oil and gas investment, who is bringing in the money, what infrastructure do we need to put in place, we need to holistically examine what timelines we have beyond what the IEA is saying, all right, beyond what any other projection shows. What is the timeline for us as a continent, as a country, so that we're able to situate that and plan?
The public lecture was held on the theme, Energy Sovereignty in the Context of the Global Energy Transition, What Africa Should.
The leadership of the Energy Commission Division of the Public Services Workers Union of the Trades Union Congress has dismissed a report circulating in the media alleging that the staff of the Energy Commission are demanding the termination of the appointment of the Acting Executive Secretary Eunice Brichum. In a signed statement, the divisional chairman, Herbert Zahn, said the union the reports are false, baseless, and do not represent the position or sentiments of the staff of the Energy Commission.
The statement said contrary to the reports of agitation and calls for her removal, the work environment at the Energy Commission remains calm, professional and productive, stressing that there are no internal protest, industrial actions or disturbances at the Commission. It expressed concern about the misrepresentation of the staff, stating that workers find it deeply regrettable that external actors or anonymous sources will seek to use the name of the staff to pursue an agenda that is entirely unknown to them. On support for institutional stability, the leadership said the staff are focused on fulfilling the Commission's mandate of regulating and managing Ghana's energy resources. The statement urged the public and the media to disregard the sensationalized reports which seek to create unnecessary tension where none exists.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Trust Jehovah Herbal Center and Yamvita. The Health Minister, Mr. Kobna Minta Kando, says affordability remains one of the strongest determinants of surgical outcomes in West Africa, as many patients are unable to access care due to cost. Speaking at the 66th Annual Conference of the West African College of Surgeons in Accra, he explained that Ghana is strengthening health financing mechanisms, including the National Health Insurance Scheme, to protect patients while enabling facilities to deliver quality specialist services.
Across our sub-region, the demand of our surgical care is rising. Urbanization, road traffic injuries, non-communicable diseases, obstetric emergencies, and the changing burden of disease have combined to increase the need for timely, safe, and affordable surgery. Yet, in too many places, surgical care remains constrained by factors that are not clinical alone, but systemic. The question before us is therefore not simply how to produce more surgeons. The question is whether we will build a system that allows skill to translate in safety and knowledge to translate into access. Ghana's approach is to strengthen readiness through combination of investment and operational discipline, so that facilities are not only built, but are functional, staffed, supplied, and governed to standards. In this respect, WACS remain an essential partner in accreditation, standard setting, and safeguarding of training platforms. Health financing must therefore protect patients whilst enabling facilities to deliver quality specialist services. In Ghana, we are advancing complementary measures that speak to prevention, protection, and specialist support. We are scaling out the quality-focused free primary healthcare initiative to strengthen early detection and referral. We are strengthening the financial base and predictability of the National Health Insurance Scheme. We are also implementing the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, popularly known as Mahama Cares, named after my president. To support catastrophic costs for priority chronic conditions, including cancers, chronic kidney disease, and cardiovascular disease, among others. Importantly, this fund is not limited to financing treatment. A defined proportion supports specialist training because sustainable financing must be linked to workforce outcomes. And because treatment capacity without human capacity is not sustainable.
The segment of the news is brought to you by Trust Jehovah Herbal Center and Ian Victoria. Back shortly. Stay with us. Some international news. Senegalese police say they have arrested 14 people and broken up a pedophile gang operating between the country and France. Those arrested, who are all Senegalese, were part of a transnational criminal group that has been in operation since 2017. According to a police statement, the group was accused of organized pedophilia, pimping, rape of minors under 15, sodomy, and intentional transmission of HIV and AIDS. They allegedly repeatedly forced boys to have unprotected sex with men who were mostly HIV positive and filmed it. 4 of the accused are said to have been acting on the instructions of a Frenchman arrested in France in April 2025 in exchange for money transfers. A police statement said coordinated raids had been carried out at homes of the various suspects, with items believed to be linked to the alleged crimes seized. The statement said the operation was conducted through cooperation between Senegal and France, with a delegation of French officers involved in the mission. The police have pledged to continue pursuing and dismantling such criminal networks and have released a toll-free number for the public to report any relevant information. To some sports news, the Black Princesses were held to a 2-2 draw with South Africa in the first leg encounter of their FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Agnes Yeboah opened the scoring for the Princess on the 33rd minute. Dinah Amwakun's long-range strike from the center hit the post, denying Ghana a second before half-time. But South Africa drew level after recess on the 48th minute. The Princesses restored their lead on the 52nd minute when Lindo Wusu Ansa scored from a corner kick. The Princesses were pegged back after a defensive blunder, saw the visitors equalize on the 60th minute. The Black Princesses pushed for the lead, but their efforts were thwarted as Jessica Appiah's goal was ruled offside on the 90th minute. The Black Princesses will travel to play the return leg in South Africa on Saturday, February 14, 2026, with a winner set for the final round of qualifiers.
New entrant to the Accra North District Football Association Division 3 League, Parin FC, have officially unveiled their technical team and signed a performance contract with them. The technical team is headed by a former Accra Hearts of Oak player, Eric Nyakun.
The signing ceremony took place at the club's head office at Jowlu in Accra. The technical team is made up of head coach Eric Nyakun, assistant coach Yao Osei, goalkeepers trainer Kobna Aminin, and team manager Paul Aye. The Division 3 side, Parin FC, says they are seeking to develop quality talent for both local and international markets, despite joining the Association Football few months ago. Formed in February 2025, Parin FC plays in the Accra North District Football League and boasts of some of the best quality players in the division. Based in Tantra Hills in Accra, Parin FC finished the first round in the season on a high, topping the league table. The team observed some of the professional practices in the country as they are backed by experienced and top-quality administrators who understand business and football management. Head coach Eric Nyaku described the signing as a morale-boosting one.
Playing Division 3 is very, very difficult, but I'm proud of my boys and my technical assistants for their marvelous efforts. They really helped me to achieve what I'm achieving now, to be on top of the league. So it's very difficult, but we are still in it. I'm very excited because, I've been in Ghana football for long, but I've never seen a third division, very professional like this, like Parin FC, offering a contract like this, do their things like premier teams. Being under contract helps you to achieve more, because if you are doing something and you are not under contract, you do anything anyhow. So this contract will push me to do more.
Officials of Parin FC are confident the team will excel in the league and churn out some quality players for the local and international market.
In the arts segment, there was a colorful display of rich Ghanaian culture at the 2025 annual Asenkpenya get-together held in Accra. Asenkpenya is one of GTV's flagship educative programs targeted at Guan-speaking communities across the country. This year's celebration was held under the theme Asenkpenya, Breaking Barriers, Building Bridges Across Guan Lands.
The event brought together members of various Guan communities from different regions of Ghana. The Guans, regarded as the aborigines of Ghana, are found in nearly 13 of the country's 16 regions. Despite their wide presence, many Guan dialects remain little known, with research indicating that several are gradually becoming extinct. The introduction of Asenkpenya on GTV 6 years ago has provided a vital platform for uniting Guan communities. What began with just 2 Guan groups has now expanded to 7 different Guan groups who regularly engage on issues affecting their people. The 1-hour program promotes dialogue, understanding, and collaboration, strengthening social cohesion and fostering a strong sense of belonging. The event also reaffirmed the mission to unite the Guan people, sending a clear message that no community is forgotten and every person belongs to one shared family. A scholarly research book on the Guans of Ghana was presented to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation Library and to the Guan community, with plans for its introduction in universities across the country. The national president of the Guan Congress and Ankobahene, Nana Enyene Jadu Nkansa, urged all Guans to break down barriers among themselves, embrace unity, and work together towards development.
We try to organize ourselves by identifying our communities that speak the languages now, and through that we had this umbrella body called the Guan Congress, and through that we gradually organizing our youths, making sure that the youth of the Guan communities have identified themselves, reorganized themselves, and appreciate and understand the fact that they are Guans.
The director of television at GBC, Madam Akushika Akwe, said celebrations such as Asenkpenya help promote togetherness, preserve local heritage, and showcase Ghana's rich cultural diversity.
This program is a celebration of who we are, and I'm excited to see its impact. Let's continue to promote our local languages, our cultures, our traditions. Together, we can make a difference and make Ghana proud.
Chief of the Gonja community in Accra, Ajawule Okitikata, emphasized that the Guan people remain one family across all regions of Ghana, regardless of location.
A guitarist, composer, band leader, record producer, and arranger who focused on high life and Afrobeat music, now called to eternal rest. Barely a month after his 90th birthday, legendary musician Ebo Taylor has passed away, leaving Ghana's music industry in mourning.
A pioneering figure in the Afrobeat genre, Ebo Taylor died on Saturday, February 7, 2026, leaving behind a powerful legacy that helped shape highlife and Afrobeat music in Ghana and across Africa. Born in Cape Coast, Ebo Taylor rose to prominence in the 1960s as a gifted guitarist, composer, and band leader. His distinctive blend of highlife, jazz, funk, and Afrobeat earned him admiration both locally and internationally. Over the years, he worked with several legendary musicians, including Fela Kuti, and inspired generations of African artists through his music. Ebo Taylor's music told stories of African identity, culture, and pride, sounds that continue to resonate today. From Cape Coast to the global stage, Ebo Taylor's influence on African music remains undeniable. Details of funeral arrangements are yet to be announced by the family. Ebo Taylor may be gone, but his music will no doubt live on, especially in the hearts of music lovers forever.
That's it for News Hour Live on your trusted news channel, GBC News. I'll be back at 10 p.m. for News Tonight. Do have a good evening.
Own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories.